What is the name of your spider sona? I know you have one, you coward. Say it. Do it. You won't. Come on. We have an interview today. And we are interviewing a real-life superhero. We get to talk to Skyline today. Welcome. Skyline,
Ooh.
you're here. So questions. Alright. This is something I've been wondering. Why Skyline? Why the name Skyline?
There's actually kind of a funny story behind that. I didn't come up with the name. I was struggling with the name. And because, spoiler alert, I got to look ahead on the questions a bit. This is going to answer another one of yours.
I did send them to you ahead of time to make sure that you'd, know what I was going to ask
I'm good with
you.
all of them. Yeah, thank you. I just know that this is going to, spoil a bit of a different question. I came up with the suit first, actually.
Mhm.
I didn't design anything in particular. I just looked for things I needed that I also liked the look of. At first it was all black and it looked all tactical and stuff, and I was like, this is not it. And I decided I wanted to paint it white and blue for a couple reasons. There was going to be a couple more colors in there, but paint buckets are expensive. When I was spray painting it, it was no problem, but that wasn't working, so I switched to exterior house paint.
Oh!
Now it's weatherproof.
Nice! Very nice.
But those are $40 per bucket. So I was like, okay, we're doing 2 colors. That's it.
So is it is the design like a high vis, come to me for safety kind of thing?
Well, I wanted, it's kind of multifaceted. On one hand, I wanted it to have brighter colors for that reason. Yeah, I feel approachable and friendly, not scary and intimidating or anything. So it's easy for people to come up and ask me questions.
Mm-hmm.
But also because I wanted blue and white to be like the sky, because my primary purpose is to use the super suit and the superhero persona as a sort of it's for grabbing attention so I can help inspire people, because, well, there's a lot of things that everybody can be doing just on their day-to-day, even if it's just involving caring a little bit more, that gets overlooked because people are trying to be cool with this idea of heroism. They think that if it's not cool, then it's not a hero thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to, and a lot of people think it's cool to have this uncaring asshole attitude. So I wanted to make it seem cool to be a kind person and just care about the little things. I mean, personally, I believe if you can't do the little things, if you're not going to bring yourself to do little things for just, the sake of doing good, then how the hell am I going to trust you to stand up to do something big when it's time to do that? You're probably not going to.
That makes a lot of sense.
But most of the problems in the world are at least problems that, you and I can go help right here, right now, are the little things. But point is, it was mostly for inspiration. I wanted the color language to be inspiring to people when they see it off, just by default. So thinking about sky, I was like, I need a sky-based theme, and all the names I was coming up with sucked so bad. One of them was Nova Skybeam. That's too much. No.
This is
so I asked
like
my
a
friend.
Bakugo moment for damn sure.
Yeah. Just terrible names. Yeah, no, they were all very over the top, edgy and terrible, but somewhere sky was thrown in there. I asked my friend who's an author to just please help me with the name, and they immediately came up with Skyline on their very first try, and I was like, okay, don't give me any more. That's the one. That is it. That's the name.
Well, all right, damn.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not like there was no inspiration. There's just a story behind it. I guess the inspiration was inspiration. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so jumping off of that, you said that you care about people doing the little things, like you want to be approachable, you want to be friendly. So that makes me ask, what is a superhero to you? Not just in textbook definition. I mean, in action, in what a superhero does. What makes somebody a superhero?
Well, that's another multifaceted question. To me, as applying the term superhero in real life, it just takes it pretty literal. A hero is anybody. Heroes can be big or small. It's a very flexible term. But what makes it super is that you didn't have to, right? Being a hero is being there for other people in the time that they needed it. But what makes it super to me is that you did it by your own volition. You just chose to do that because you have the free will to decide to help people. So whether it's I'm just gonna go pick up, litter on the ground because I want to help everybody here, or it's I want to go fly out to space to punch a comet that's gonna hit Earth. Those are both superhero acts because you put yourself out there to help other people and you really didn't have to do that. But the funny thing about superheroes is that they don't exist. None of us are this comic book superhero until somebody is out here shooting lasers from their eyes. So I want people to get rid of this idea of trying to think that superheroes in real life are supposed to have superpowers. Superheroes aren't defined by superpowers. It's not about a power fantasy. It's about morality. And furthermore, comic books don't even get what a superhero is. It's more of an aesthetic, if anything, because, hell, Black Widow could also just be like a 007 character. Which doesn't what exactly makes somebody a superhero besides the comic writers said so? That's pretty much the main qualifier for a media superhero. At least it can literally be anybody so long as the writer calls them that. The writers in Dragon Ball Z called Goku a superhero. All right, he's still
okay. Well, let's not get a little carried away here. Goku counts for a lot of reasons. Primarily because he beat up Emperor Pilaf, and that was really cool.
That's very true. I mean, it's just, if you don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z, you think Goku anime character, and that's really,
I know. I'm just
then you think
being silly.
Great Saiyan Man is the superhero, but
technically
they're all
he definitely
superheroes.
is.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to do the superhero aesthetic trope and everything like that, but multiple times, the Z Fighters are just called superheroes as well.
Yeah. I just beat Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and Raiden, the cyborg ninja, calls himself a superhero, or at least says he's trying to be one over the course of the story.
Exactly. It's
just as a thing. It's a pretty slippery concept. It's very nebulous.
It's a very vague term, and if it looks like a superhero, sounds like a superhero, then it's a superhero. That it's a very loose term to use, and it's just, I find it funny how many people think that their narrow idea of what a superhero is should apply to the entirety of people trying this in real life, and then therefore denounce it. People in the real life superhero community do that too, and they get a little nervous about calling themselves a superhero, and then we get these weird terms like gimmick, or which just, or people saying I'm RLSH instead of just saying, oh, I'm a superhero.
Yeah. I remember the day that we watched here on stream your how to be a real life superhero video. Afterwards, we watched an example of how to do the exact opposite. We watched the Atrocity Guide video on Phoenix Jones. Collective groan for Phoenix Jones. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to get your perspective on this, because I have a lot of personal perspectives on what makes a superhero, both in literature and in real life, right? I've wanted to do real life superhero stuff a lot, but I am a little goblin creature, and I have things that hold me back, both physically and as far as emotional disorder. I have bipolar type 2, and it requires a lot of care and management, so I feel like I would do myself a disservice to put myself in a situation where I could theoretically be in a very like physically dangerous environment. I don't feel that I'm physically up to snuff to defend somebody, and I don't feel like I am equipped either financially or emotionally to carry the weight of going out and doing the direct aid that a real life superhero community does. Plus, I feel like it's a very community-oriented thing that I would not be able to get where I am physically. So I do this instead. I'm a little goblin on the internet. But when it comes to somebody like Phoenix Jones, who ostensibly is trying to do this violently, do you have any words of advice to encourage people away from that?
Well, yeah, and it kind of ties into what you were just mentioning before about not having, the resources and the correct place nearby you for that kind of community outreach, and then not feeling up to snuff for trying to, violently interrupt stuff. I would say that really you could be a superhero online. Like if you play your cards right. There's this dude, Skyline on TikTok, who is just now dedicating to doing a superhero aesthetic towards spreading helpful information about your area on how others can help, being a resource online for people looking to go out and help and stuff like that.
Oh my god, Oracle,
or
Max.
Discordia. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
exactly.
You just gave me a brainwave. I could just do the Oracle thing. That sounds incredible. Oh my god.
There's a decent chunk of people who do that. There's Discordia, who handles a lot of the web development aspect of superheroes, and she's the one on the RLSH wiki. That's all made by Discord. Not all, but mostly made by Discordia and a couple others. Or there's just online ways that you can help people. The internet has really opened up the door to new forms of service, and I don't think I would even say that if you're an artist offering your services to people, and even if you can make your what's the word I'm looking for, you can still make your salary, because everybody deserves that. But fair, yeah. At the end of the day, especially these days where we got computers and a whole bunch of chuds trying to use those computers to steal artists' jobs, because they're not talented enough to learn how to be an artist. I think it's a superpower just to be an artist these days. So
well, I appreciate that. I have severe fury for that aspect of current online discourse. The AI bros, the chuds who say that they don't have you don't have the talent to be an artist. It's an ivory tower to be an artist. Dog, just pick up a pencil. Just draw shit.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. Come on, just do it. It's not that difficult. It's very fun.
I have seen some of the best artists in my life on the streets. Like, they don't have a home, they don't have anything, but they still have way more dedication to their self-expression than these chuds online who are just like, I'm going to click in a prompt. I am a prompt artist.
So actually, that leads me to a quick question. I know I didn't have this one pre-prepared, so this is a gotcha question. So get ready.
Oh no.
Get ready.
Oh no.
Politics.
Ready.
Politics.
Yeah.
So I feel it's fair to say that all superheroes are inherently political because they are founded on the ideal of fighting for social justice. Whether you go back to somebody like Golden Bat in the really proto-superhero phase in Japan, or when you go to somebody like Superman, when you have that flashpoint that creates the idea of the superhero, who is made by two Jewish kids in Cincinnati, to be a simple solution to complicated world problems with a direct and clear answer of do good, right? How do you feel about being an openly political person in the real-life superhero movement when there are people who would rather have politics either taken out of it or ignore the political implications of doing societal outreach?
I don't think that you could take politics out of anything, no matter how much you try, personally.
Mm-hmm.
People who want to take politics out of it are people who are just privileged enough to have that perspective. Their politics still affect everything. They could say they're not political, but they're just comfortable in the status quo, and that's, you know, fine, I guess. Don't talk to me. But yeah, no, I agree. Superheroes should be political first and foremost. It is not a neutral thing whatsoever. There's a decent chunk of superheroes in the community who do want it to be more neutral and be like, we should all just get along. Besides that, no, we should figure this out, and that doesn't include things being, you know, hunky-dory all the time. All right, it's gonna get a little hectic because people are passionate about their opinions, but we gotta figure it out. Stop just letting it fester and bottle up, because shouldn't we all just get along? Like, clearly we're already not. So, you know, that's not really an option. But there is a level of compassion that does need to be met, because a lot of people on the right are just, well, they're comfortable in a system and they're led to believe a certain way, and usually haven't been given the opportunity to have other perspectives, whether it be through their own lived experiences, being too comfortable to understand how hard it can really get for other people, or it simply be that you got, you know, an Antarctic level IQ. You know, there's levels to why they don't know what they don't know, but it's usually a factor of ignorance more so than it is of just a bad-willed spirit of any kind. A lot of people on the right, like I could trick them into agreeing with leftist ideologies if you just use the right dialogue options, and that tells me how much of it is really just programming from up, you know, our entire structure. So I think it's important that superheroes out, you know, actually speak up about things to make a change, because, well, what is the point? What is the point otherwise? Like, if you want to go actually fight crime, like why don't you, like, you're just a worse cop. That's all you're doing. Like, that's almost pointless. Obviously, if you're going about walking around doing your usual I'm gonna help people patrol, and you see somebody in need of some kind of violent crime, then I want to rid the bystander effect and be there to help. But a lot of people talk from on the superhero angle, talking about, like, I'm gonna go hunt down criminals and bring them to justice, because, like, how? Go for it, sure. But like,
that actually brings up another question that I like to ask you, like, in addition to that.
Yeah.
So I've seen you in your other stuff define a vigilante. What is the major difference between a vigilante and a superhero to you?
To me, it's really just the assumption that you can take justice into your own hands from your perspective. I don't think if you witness a felony or a violent act or anything like that, if you were there and you could obviously do something about it, then do something about it. But if you don't know all the information and like, you're just independently diving in with your own theory about what's going on, and then you take violent action against people, then you could be wrong. Like, I'm sorry, a lot of these wannabe superheroes are not nearly as smart as they think they are, and imagine they think that they're sold on this idea that some dude who they thought was sketchy was some kind of pedophile or something, and then they go and they beat their ass. But then it turns out that they just didn't like that person and their bias was playing against them. But who cares, because they already took action, I think there's a good reason why vigilantism is illegal in the first place. And well, the reason I always like to bring up is because vigilantism was used to describe specifically events like or groups like the KKK. They believed that they were doing a justice for society that the law wasn't doing and was desperately needed from their own perspective. And I just don't trust the average person's perspective to decide that they're going to take other people's well-being into their own hands so they can pretend to be the hero. We don't know all the information. It's a lot more nuanced than that in the real world, you know?
So this is a very interesting perspective. I'm glad I've got you in this space. There's a certain event that I'd like to ask your opinion on, just really quick, to pick your brain about a very unique circumstance. So this happened in the 50s, right? You may have heard this before. There's a documentary on it called "The Town That Killed a Man." I think it's something like that. But basically, Ken McElroy. Have you ever heard of this person?
It's news to me.
This is just a general thing I'm curious about. This is tangentially related. So this happened in 1981. All right, Ken McElroy was a very large and physically and very politically powerful man in the small town that he lived in. He was consistently terrorizing the local populace. He was a pedophile. He took child brides, and he committed at least 2 known murders. The town got together and shot him. One person shot Ken McElroy. Ken McElroy died. No one in the town of Skidmore called an ambulance or said a word about the shooter to the cops. To this day, no one knows who did it. No one has said why, who planned it or how it went out. But this was done because of the failings of justice to meet somebody like Ken McElroy. He was entirely beyond reproach because he had a lawyer who worked for Al Capone who basically got him off on any charge because it was very difficult to get him pinned down in this local town. And I'm not asking you to solve this by any means. I'm asking, based off of just this, what is your opinion on something as impossibly difficult to parse as the case of Ken McElroy?
I think that's a unique scenario where eventually the people are just going to take justice for themselves. When I was talking about my perspective on vigilantism, that doesn't necessarily mean the law as it stands, because we do have power structures that keep powerful people in positions that keep them far away from the consequences of their heinous actions. And I mean, yeah, I don't know who shot him either. No clue.
No, that's fair. Literally no one does. But we're so what I'd like to know is
I mean, even if I saw it, I don't think I'd know. You feel me?
Yeah. I am curious, how do you think we can avoid ending up in a Ken McElroy situation? Like in that sort of mob justice, in that sort of most extreme action? Because it is horrifying to think about, but how can one avoid getting to that point?
Accountability earlier. That would have avoided that. If he was actually held accountable for his actions and put behind bars, he'd probably still be alive and serving his sentence. That's the simple truth about that. And so that's a failure on the system, whatever law enforcement system whoever was bribed to keep that man in power despite the crimes he committed.
I do want to specify with Ken McElroy, he had no personal political station. He was merely protected by loopholes in law that allowed him to walk without a fully ironclad provable thing, because he basically had, his victims had public defendants. He had a lawyer that had personally worked for Al Capone as the example he would consistently give, to the level that he could get away with things.
So there's a legislative way he got away with it, essentially.
Yeah. I sent you a an
Well,
article about it
so
because I know that this is rather foreign to you. It's more so just the case of this that I wanted to bring to your attention to get your thoughts on it, because it is a very fascinating moment in history. I also didn't see shit. I was right there. I didn't see shit. Who knows? A ghost killed Kenny. Exactly. It's a real life version of Murder on the Orient Express. Like, honestly, yes. I should have just gone with the Orient Express. That's a better example. But yeah, I sent you the article to parse through. But go on.
I think that is still a failure on the system itself, for the fact that he was able to get away with it by finding loopholes. Obviously, those are kind of more difficult to deal with in the moment of them happening and somebody getting away with it. But now it should be very clear what loopholes are possible and what needs patched up. I don't think that figuring out a good system for managing a society of people is ever really a completed task. So it is still ultimately up to legislation to be changed so somebody like him can't get away with anything, and preferably as the actual crimes are happening. I feel as though moral obligation, as in not moral as in miscellaneous laws that are written because I said so type of things that people think laws are supposed to be. I mean, in the sense that of the golden rule. If somebody else wouldn't want this to happen to them, then it should probably be illegal. It's pretty simple. I feel like people get into a lot of different like philosophical battles about like what is morality, what is good or bad. Does it feel bad? Would you want that to happen to you? No. All right, that. It's just empathy. I don't know what this philosophical conversation is really all about. I think it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, sure, the law is different on the age of consent in different countries. Those countries are wrong. It should be higher. It's that simple. Laws don't
fair.
dictate morals, and everywhere can still work towards making their laws more accompanying to the rights of all people. There's going to be unique scenarios that people run into. There's going to be loopholes people find, and those need adjustment accordingly. And it's really not hard, because all the people who are affected by them are right there in the city making their voices heard. All it takes is actually doing something about it.
This is I'm glad I asked this question. I'm glad. I would like to shift to something a little more lighthearted than the concept of morality and the inevitable failures of a system that need to be solved in order to make sure that it is no longer inevitable failure. So, how do you handle boring nights?
Most nights are.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that again, the real world isn't like a comic book. If you go around walking at night and it's just kind of a quiet night, I get more nervous that I don't see anybody, because I'm like, damn, I have too much stuff to hand out, and I chose a street that is completely. How long am I gonna have to walk to find somebody? Because this is getting boring. Like that's.
Have you ever thought about
worry.
like having like a motorized scooter, like a Skyline mobile?
I'm trying to get a van instead.
That's
because
pretty rad, actually.
I could carry a lot more supplies in there, along with teammates in the same vehicle, and it's more spacious. And then hopefully, if it opens up on the side, I could hand out from the side. So like if I'm going from one location to the next and I see people there, I can just pull over and give them some stuff. That's not so easy to do in my car, because my car is small. I drive a 2-door. But like I have to take off half of my uniform just to drive, and then put it back on once I get out of the car. I can't just stop and go all the time.
Is it like a RoboCop's leg scenario? Do you know what I'm talking about there with the RoboCop legs?
Maybe.
The RoboCop suit, whenever you see it in the movie, you can't sit down in it. Like the way it's designed.
So you have to
Actual
take off the
RoboCop
legs?
would be able to sit down, but yet the legs can't bend the way they need to for a human body. So whenever you see him in the car, he's actually not wearing the pants. He's just wearing the.
It's not really like
torso
that.
up.
It's because I mean I can still sit in the car with it and all that. It's just that my car isn't really big, and like I have on a utility belt that makes it to where I can't sit back. My helmet, you know, the antennas touch the roof of the car. So like it's just easier to take off the utility belt, which means I have to take off the vest because I have suspenders to keep the utility belt up because it's heavy. So I got to take off the vest, and if I have to take off the vest, it means I have to take off the arm guards. So I just have to take off all of the upper body stuff just to get the utility belt off, and then the helmet can't stay on because my roof is too low. I have a smaller car, you know.
Yeah. Can I recommend a slight gear shift that I think might help with something, if I may be so bold?
Sure. I might already be doing it.
HEMA gear. Like historical European martial arts. No, I mean the pants specifically.
Yeah. Maybe. I have been looking for. Well, my thing is a jumpsuit. It's not a pant and shirt combo.
Yeah.
But you mean for like the leg armor?
I meant for like ease of like movement in and out of the suit. HEMA gear is very like it's heavy, but like when you have like the gambeson or the way the pants are and then the leggings, the suspenders are built into HEMA like pants wear, and so it's easier to like attach things to them without having to like basically have it all like pinned in different spots. It's easier to have a utility belt attached to the HEMA pants and then be able to remove that without having like to worry about where the suspenders are or where like it's gonna like sit and everything. And they are also very, very safe because they provide a lot of like resistance to things around them. Plus they come in a bunch of colors. I've seen them in white and blue. Okay, I use a term. I don't know if the IRL the real life superhero community uses this term. I get it from comic books. Just a save, right? Where you save somebody in danger. And I consider danger to be any form of immediate, like, distress, whether that be emotional, physical, or under some kind of threat, like a felony. Those are very rare to happen on the streets, obviously. A drug overdose or anything like that. And because you are out on the streets, because you are doing this, do you have a most memorable save, a most memorable moment where you've actually like performed a save? Which one stuck with you?
I oftentimes think back. This is actually before the what's it called? Before Skyline and all that. I mentioned I used to be in private security. I still count like all my time leading up. That's like origin story period.
Yeah, I don't discount any of that. Anyone can perform a save.
On my very first night as a security guard, oh man, they do it in 12-hour shifts, mind you. So, and it was at the very end for a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift, and around like 5:50 in the morning, very end of it, somebody came up to me, very woozy, stumbling about, and they were telling me that they feel like they're starting to have an overdose, and I had to stick with them, help them out for a while, wait for ambulances to show up and all that. Of course, at that time, being a first night on security, I didn't have like Narcan or anything. I just you know, made sure that they were staying up. What's the word? They were asking for something, for like a snack, but unfortunately, because they were just.
Oh, you didn't want to like
delirious.
aspirate basically on the food?
Yeah, exactly. It was very hectic in general, because on one hand they were freaking out, on the other hand there was a lot of things I couldn't do for them because of just basic things like, you know, you're not supposed to give somebody overdosing like food or water like that, not yet, not until they're breathing normal, you know, and because otherwise, yeah, they can just choke on whatever they drink or eat. But eventually There was actually a couple of other cool moments. I don't, a lot of the times though, like when it comes to real life situations, you know, actual emergency services will show up for something like that pretty quick, overdoses, which over time ended up being a more frequent thing, and it's usually the same sort of procedure. I just didn't expect to get that on the first night. That's just to put it into perspective, how much more common an overdose situation is going to be over, I stopped a mugging, you know?
Yeah.
But things when it comes to like a mugging or something like that, anything gun related, it can be a little tricky to do things the right way, because you're supposed to, if it's a gun, then ideally don't get involved, but report it instead. You know, try to get as much valuable information as you can to the police. And this happened to me in security too. There was just a group of 3 people shooting at the side of this apartment complex building. It seemed targeted because they were only hitting the one, and then they started leaving. But I was nearby them. I was patrolling this complex, and I was just hiding behind one of the apartments nearby and peeking over so I could get a good look at them. And I got all the information you could possibly want over to the police: what guns they were shooting, what were they wearing, where they were heading, the exact street names to like the directions they were going, and how long ago they just left. And then the cops just didn't show up. So like, so that's also something to keep in mind, be aware of, is like, it's sometimes it's like, what can you do, you know?
Yeah. And so off of that, right? This is one of the other things that I wanted to ask. Like, I've had not getting into like personal moments too much from my end. This is about you, not about me. In my past, I have had particular moments with particular people who are in distress, and or just meeting them and helping somebody that really stuck with me, and I think about them often. I wonder where they are. I hope they're doing okay. That kind of thing. Do you have a moment like that? Somebody that you have met, somebody that you've helped, somebody that's just run into you on the street that has really stuck with you in some way or affected how you do what you do?
Yeah, actually, and it's a little more, slightly more comedic, because if you saw my video, my first patrol night, I still think about Benny. I want to get Benny a power cord charger, like a power bank, and a charger cord. I didn't like that stuck with me still. I still think every time I go on patrol, I have a power bank on me, and I'm like, just in case I run into a Benny again, I gotta give him this. I
actually haven't seen the first patrol video.
Oh yeah, I ran into this dude named Benny, and like he needed a charger, and I was like, oh man, I don't have one on me, but I do in my car. Let me go back to my car, and it was 6 blocks away. So I go all the way back and then walk all the way back to where Benny was, and he's just gone. So I searched the area. I just can't find Benny anywhere. I went up and down the blocks like nearby in like a 4x4 grid area and just checked all of them. Asked everybody like, did you see dude carrying this thing? And you know, nope, couldn't find him again. Ever since then, that's kind of when I stopped using my backpack and decided I'm just going to carry a wagon around, and I need to be able to carry more supplies in general. Mm-hmm. It kind of started with like thinking more about the crime fighting superhero. I had a lot more like carry some handout supplies in a backpack, but then also more emergency supplies in there, like a fire extinguisher and stuff like that, you know. Mm-hmm. But as I went about it, and like more frequently, I just needed more supplies to hand out that I didn't have, and it just kind of turned into a more civil services thing as I recognized what real problems actually are. Again, real life isn't as exciting as the comic books. Like if you go out there with a bunch of weapons expecting to fight crime, you're going to feel guilty for all the stuff you wish you could have given people out there who actually needed help, rather than preparing for the fantasy way of help that you didn't get to do probably for months on end.
Yeah. All right. So to give you a final question, right? Before I have you, I'm going to force you to plug everywhere somebody can find you and help you and give to you anything that they can. Last big question, okay?
All right.
All right. This is important, and I will judge you very highly based off of this.
Okay.
Who is your favorite superhero?
Oh, well, it's kind of generic, but
There
I
are
have
no
to go
generic
with Spider-Man.
answers.
Like, I have to go with Spidey. Spider-Man was one of the first movies I ever even saw as a kid.
Which one?
Tobey Maguire. The very first one I watched. I watched all 3 of them in theaters. All 3 of them. And Spider-Man was even one of my first words. But I couldn't say it right because I was just a toddler, and I would say Beta Man. It's Beta Man. And
I need you to know something.
What's up?
Yes, that's correct. That's the correct answer. You have said the correct answer. You have
Oh,
said
hell
the
yeah.
only acceptable answer. Yes, I am the Spider-Man fan. I am ride or
Hell
die
yeah.
for Spider-Man. With Spider-Man, because you've said the answer, I have a secret question.
Oh?
Yes.
What's that?
This is a 3-parter.
Okay. All right. I'm
Brace
ready.
yourself. Brace yourself. Okay.
I'm ready.
What is the name of your Spider-Sona? I know you have one, you coward. Say it. Do it. You won't. Come on. Come on, pussy. You
Actually,
won't. What's your Spider-Sona?
I do have a Spider-Sona. It was an avatar for the game Resonite. I made an avatar and oh man, can I find it?
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
really hope
Hell yeah.
It was like I didn't really name him. It was just a more kung fu inspirational, like inspired design, but very kind of poorly made. Oh no, I'd have to hop on the game Resonite to see it. That's not happening because it's not installed.
That is fair. If you
maybe
can
some
find
other
it.
time.
I'd
I'll
love to
find
do
it
this
and send it to you
again.
later. Because I do have one, and it's a kung fu Spider-Man essentially.
I knew it.
Looks kind of ninja-esque, but more kung fu.
Okay, second part of this. Favorite Spider-Man that is not Peter Parker.
Well, my favorite Spider-Man is Miles Morales, so it doesn't
Absolutely
matter.
perfect choice. Fantastic. Favorite Spider-Man that isn't Miles Morales or Peter Parker.
Brett, Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham. Okay, that's Kino. Okay, cinema. Absolute cinema. Okay. Final part. What is your OTP in Spider-Man for specifically Peter and his like romantic life?
Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, specifically in Spectacular Spider-Man.
Okay, this is the only acceptable Gwen Stacy pairing I will ever accept. Thank you.
Yeah, I just really wanted to see that happen, and it just didn't.
Well,
Really.
the Spectacular Spider. Season 4 was supposed to have that.
Yeah.
We need it.
That's what they should bring back. Why have they've been bringing back so many things?
Well, they are bringing back and Mexican Gwen. Yep, I will accept Mexican Gwen Stacy. The Mexican comics had a better Gwen Stacy than normal Gwen Stacy. I have a chip on my shoulder about Gwen Stacy in the OG comics. I am genuinely still to this day heartbroken that she died, and I want Marvel to leave her alone, please. Also, I didn't like her as a Spider-Man girlfriend. She was, but okay. So, sorry. Got to zero in. This is the hyperfixation button. This and Evangelion will just get me going forever. Okay. They're actually making Spider-Man 92 or 98. Marvel is doing that.
Hell yes.
That's gonna be
That'd be
that's
cool.
in production right now. After they do
Hell.
X-Men 97 season 2, they're doing Spider-Man 98. That's fully confirmed.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Spectacular Spider-Man is on their radar from everything that I have heard.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure, but it is on their radar, which is the best Spider-Man cartoon ever created. I'll die on this hill. Actual peak.
I also, oh man, number 2, I did not expect to love Friendly Neighborhood nearly as much as I did. From the trailers and everybody talking about it online, I thought I was gonna be like, even by the first episode when things are like super like strange, haha. I
have seen that. That was good. Sorry, go on.
It was. I liked it way more than I thought I was going to. It was very peak.
I've got
up there,
small spoilers. Small spoilers if they're true for the new Spider-Man movie. You want to hear them?
Huh.
Organic webs.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm a big organic webs fan. I like the organic webbing because that means his gadgets can like focus on other stuff. But the other thing is, there's a chance we're gonna get Man Spider on screen.
Oh,
That's why
that
the
would be
organic web things is important. We might get
That would be
6-armed
cool.
Spider-Man.
I could. It's like I feel like organic webs are just like more intuitively like better for storytelling, simply because, well, I mean,
He's
if he didn't make the web
Spider-Man.
shooters, he could be Grasshopper Man for all they, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's always been my thing, is that I think this is also the Raimi poisoning, because I also saw all the Raimi movies as a kid, that like the organic webbing should just be part of his natural powers, because he's a Spider-Man, and I want him to have the spider utility belt again with all the gadgets he uses for stuff, because that was cool.
Yeah.
He had a utility belt. Let Spider-Man be a utility belt guy.
yeah, hell yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna let you go now. Let you go do things. Give you some moments between this and the next thing you have to do. But I need everything that you can plug for people to find you and support you.
Well, on every platform, you can find me by simply searching Skyline Superhero, but I Linktree/Skyline Superhero. That's where you'll, like, I got like my donation links and everything. But those are also just on my social accounts. Whether you find me on TikTok or Instagram, those are the main two. You'll find that Linktree. I might go
Linktree in
update it.
chat right now. Actually, I found
Hell
the
yeah.
Linktree. I'm gonna post that in chat for everybody. Is there
I've
anything?
turned off.
Oop, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was just gonna say I turned off my Amazon wishlist donations for a little bit because I'm full on space. My storage unit is also now already almost full. I need to let like get those out before I accept more Amazon donations. So currently only direct donations are turned on.
Everybody, if you donate to Skyline, I'll add time to the subathon.
No way.
I will add time to the subathon if you donate to Skyline. Give Skyline money.
Baller.
Give Skyline money, please.
Hell yeah.
Skyline
Thank you very
need
much.
money
I
to
do
do
need a van.
things. Skyline need van.
I'm working on merch right now for that reason, because I need more money for something like a van. That's definitely a requirement at this point. I just got too much stuff and I need more people to join me as well. So it's gonna take a van. As much as I'd like a cool motorcycle or a Nissan Skyline, it's gotta be a van.
So, okay, if you need merch, if you need designs, I will offer my stuff for free for you, if you'd like.
Oh, hell yeah. I would love that.
I do have a limited amount of what I can do because I do have commissions. It is part of my job. But if you want designs, if you want things for stickers or t-shirts or something, hit me up. I can definitely spare the time. I will make the opportunity. I will make the merch if you would like me to do it. There is under no obligation, under no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd probably just feel more comfortable splitting the sales in some way. So
Oh, you wouldn't have to do
that
that.
would
I would actually prefer any money that like gets from merch sales for your stuff to go towards supporting you. I don't. I would rather you get the support for what you're doing than to me make any money off of it at all. Like genuinely,
hell yeah, thank you.
what you're doing, what anyone in the real life superhero community does, is very important to me. Because it is a material way to improve the world. It is material action being taken that addresses the concerns that people often leave on the table. I'm an Epicurean hedonist. You mentioned philosophy earlier. What that means is basically I want the most amount of good to the most amount of people and to minimize suffering as much as possible. I believe that is what life is. I'm very material about life, right? Because even if there is something after we die, even if that happens, I'd rather make sure that life is as good as possible, because there might not be, right? This might be all everybody gets, so there is no reason not to make it as good as possible for as many people as possible. I'm
on like the almost opposite end, but same end goal, because I'm a very spiritual person, actually.
Yeah.
Perennial philosophist, that's the word for it.
I
study a lot.
I have to do another interview with you when you have time.
No problem. Yeah, definitely. Basically, I took anthropology in college specifically for studying world religion, and now my personal spiritual beliefs are kind of just a mix of everything that I've absorbed so far that makes cohesive sense to a larger idea. Because if you read through different religions, a lot of them pretty much share very identical philosophies, even in religions that nowadays seem very different. If you look at it a little closer, it's not too far off. So I believe that the creator, God, whatever you want to call him, shows spiritual truths all over the world, but our human material understanding kind of warps it, because we just don't have we don't have the capacity to understand all of the universe at once. That's just impossible, especially for most people who are just trying to get by day to day.
The next time I have you in an interview, I will prepare some questions about moral and spiritual philosophy to pick your brain about that.
Definitely, that'd be fun. Sure. That'd be fun. I go crazy for that stuff. And I think
same. It was my minor in college.
The material world is very, very important. A lot of people who are more spiritual will will have this kind of opinion that nothing matters here, but this is the training ground. Everything matters here. Come on, this is where you prove your spirit. This is where actions have consequences. Eternal souls don't experience anything, because you can't experience when you just are experiencing everything. That's not, it doesn't work that way. There has to be a first time,
That's interesting.
At least from your point of view. And so this is where we can have that experience and time to show what aspect of spirituality we want to pursue, because there's good, it's everything. The creator is everything, good and bad. This is in every religion. Even the Bible says God, I the Lord create good, I the Lord create evil, I create the light and I create darkness, I the Lord do all these things. This isn't like a battle of good versus evil on the immaterial plane. It's a battle of good versus evil on this plane, where we have the free will to show what we're made of. I
am very excited to talk to you about this. I've got a preference to if there is an afterlife, what I would like, and it involves. I really like the idea of reincarnation. I'm a fan of the Buddhist concept of samsara. I like the idea of a bodhisattva, returning to the earth and helping people, and that being the prime goal of any individual that exists. Also, I like life. I like living. Look, I don't know if the afterlife has corn dogs and monster trucks. I'm gonna be bugged if I don't get that. Okay?
No. I don't think it does. I mean, I think you could think of it, but it does. It's it would feel like nothing. That's the thing people aren't ready for when it comes to enlightenment, and what the actual trap is. Why it's called what's the word I'm looking for? Temptation. Because enlightenment, joining the one, everything, is equivalent to experiencing nothingness as well.
Yeah, well, that's what nirvana is. Nirvana is separation from samsara, the wheel of life. It is the concept of nothingness. Technically, from an atheistic perspective, you get nirvana when you die. That's what that is.
Exactly.
From an atheist perspective, you have nirvana immediately upon death.
That's why so many people are stuck in samsara, because enlightenment really isn't as pleasant as it sounds to the typical stuck person.
It's just being I'm chill, I did all my things, goodbye. That's why I want to come back. I want to come back as a house cat. Generally, that'd be really cool. I want one peaceful life as a house cat, and then I want to come back into the regular stuff that I've been dealing with.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool.
One break. Oh no, actually, no, raccoon. I want to come back as my persona. I'm coming back as a tanuki. I'm coming back as a tanuki. Give me tanuki. All right, so
that's hell yeah.
I will let you go. I've got your link tree in chat for people to go and do stuff. Hit me up on things you might want to do, and we will set up another interview when possible.
Awesome. Sounds good. It was nice chatting. That was
of course.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. Everybody say goodbye to Skyline. Now go out and get ready for your patrols.